Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel. And today I have another Down the Rabbit Hole book box to share with you that was sent to me for review back in April. So I am slowly but surely getting all caught up. Thank you so much for your patience. Those of you who are just watching to support the channel, I so appreciate it. I have about 4 more of this box to get done by the end of the year to get pretty close to caught up, and then you'll probably see it maybe every other week for a little while, and then we should be right on track and you'll just see it once a month if they keep sending it to me. It is a really fun subscription. I really love book subscriptions where there are gifts that you open along with the reading experience that really bring the pages to life, and that's the case with Down the Rabbit Hole book box. It also comes in this really lovely looking box, which I think is stunning. The box is $49.99 per month. That does include the shipping in the US, and I do have a code for you if you're interested in gifting it to someone else or joining me in these fun and dark reads. It's Noelle15 and that'll save you 15%. As always, I'll leave that information there for you in the description box below. I was really excited to get to this one, so I've opened most of these boxes on my own so that I could photograph the items inside, but I was familiar with this title and this author, so I was really excited to get to The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith, which is a well-known author, and that's one of the other things that I do love about the subscription. It's not just new releases. She often goes back to thrillers and mysteries and even horror that you may just not have gotten around to. So like I said, darker reads for sure. This one, I forgot how dark it is. Of course, I was very familiar with the movie. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the movie, which I think was put out way back in the day, like back in like 98 or 99 with Gwyneth Paltrow and Jude Law and Matt Damon. And I loved the movie. Oh, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's just fantastic cast. Kate Blanchett. Wow. It was just a fantastic movie. I went ahead and rewatched it after I read the book, and I was surprised by how many differences there were. It's a pretty quick read. It's not super long, but it is part of a series. So I was kind of thinking, I wish someone would have done the rest of the books, the novels, with Matt Damon as Mr. Ripley, Mr. Tom Ripley. But unfortunately, I don't think they did. So let me know if you've seen any other adaptations. I believe a lot of Patricia Highsmith books have been turned into movies, and now I'm totally interested in reading some more of her novels. But the way this works, you guys, is I will go ahead and read the sort of blurb on the back that gives you a good idea of the story and helps you decide if you want to go ahead and keep watching the unboxing. Maybe you want to go ahead and read the book and you're worried about spoilers, although most of the time the passages that I do read to show you the corresponding gifts don't really give away the story. There might be a couple little details, but you know, I won't necessarily be ruining the whole story for you, but it does give you a really good idea of the kinds of gifts that you might receive in this box, which is good if you are, again, thinking about giving it to someone as a gift, someone who enjoys those darker reads. I really love like psychological thrillers and mysteries, not so much the horror and the gore, although, you know, sometimes that is involved in here as well. So let me go ahead and show you a little bit more. So this is the April book box again, and so the theme or the sort of working title for it was I am whoever you say I am, which is a little Eminem like reference there. And then inside we have all of the information about the author. I love that they do like a little author bio. So for example, it says, Patricia Highsmith was an American novelist who is known mainly for her psychological thrillers, which have led to more than over 20 film adaptations over the years. Her first suspense novel, Strangers on a Train, was an immediate success with public and critics alike. The novel has been adapted for the screen 3 times, most notably by Alfred Hitchcock in 1951. Along with her most popular series about Ripley, she wrote 22 novels and 8 short story collections. Most of them often include macabre, satirical, or a story tinged with black humor. So I'm super into that. It says Europeans honored her as a psychological novelist, part of an existentialist tradition represented by her own favorite writers, in particular Dostoevsky, Conrad, Kafka, Gide, and Camus. So love it. I thought it was so good, and I would love to see more of her books in this subscription. Maybe even one of the short story collections would be really cool. So that is her. So I was actually very surprised that this was written so long ago, considering some of the themes covered in it. Let's see if I can find the copyright. Copyright 1955. So pretty good, and that's a great cover as well. So let me go ahead and read the back to you, and then we'll get into the box itself. So it says, Since his debut in 1955, Tom Ripley has evolved into the ultimate bad boy sociopath. Here in this first Ripley novel, we're introduced to suave Tom Ripley, a young striver, newly arrived in the heady world of Manhattan. A product of a broken home, branded a sissy by his dismissive Aunt Dottie, Tom Ripley meets a wealthy industrialist who hires him to bring his playboy son, Dickie Greenleaf, back from gallivanting in Italy. Soon Ripley's fascination with Dickie's debonair lifestyle turns obsessive as he finds himself enraged by Dickie's ambivalent affections for Marge, a charming American dilettante. A dark reworking of Henry James's The Ambassadors, the talented Mr. Ripley serves as an unforgettable introduction to this smooth confidence man, whose talent for murder and self-invention is chronicled in 4 subsequent Ripley novels. Well, now I feel like I have to read all of them. It is very interesting to read this book and then see the changes that they decided to make in the, I think it was Anthony Minghella version of the movie. So there were definitely some changes. For example, in the movie, Dickie is actually really in love with Marge versus just sort of stringing her along, which I thought that was like a big difference, for example, but there are quite a few. So I'm going to go ahead and put this paper book off to the side so we can take a look at the items that we got inside of our box, which does usually include some shred, but I usually kind of get rid of that. Now, there are always some extras in here, bookish extras, things that kind of go along with the novel, which is always fun, and I just is such a welcome treat. For example, there was a playlist with a Spotify code. There is a bookmark with a quote that says, "Anticipation. It occurred to him that his anticipation was more pleasant to him than the experiencing." So true. I always find that true about travel, for example. And then we did get Vincent van Goji Berry teas. I thought that was nice because it's always nice to have something to drink or snack on when you are reading. Little extras. And I think that was it for the extras this time around. But let's see. Oh, no. Speaking of snacking on, we also got from Jocelyn and Company some raspberry jam petites, little cookies with some jam in the center. So perfect to go with your tea, kind of perfect for the setting, which I think is in the late 50s. So let's go ahead and get into it. There were 5 gifts this time around, and the first one came, they were well spaced this time, and this is what it looks like when you come across a page that has a sticky note that tells you it is time to open a gift. So let me see if I can remember. So Tom has been engaged to go off to Italy on Dickie Greenleaf's dad's dime to find and bring home his son. So he has some friends who are there to see him off on the steamer ship that goes across. So it says, he showed the wristwatch to Cleo, not a fabulously expensive wristwatch, but still an excellent one and just the style Tom might have chosen for himself. A plain white face with fine black Roman numerals in a simple gold setting with an alligator strap. Just because I happened to say a few days before that I didn't own a watch, Tom said. He's really adopted me like a son. And Cleo, too, was the only person he knew to whom he could say that. Cleo's kind of like his female friend. Cleo sighed. Men, you have all the luck. Nothing like that could ever happen to a girl. Men are so free. So we get to open gift 1 that came in here. You probably have a good guess what it is. I always like to guess what it is. Although, like I said, I usually am opening these a little bit ahead of time. So hopefully once I get caught up in the new year, I can kind of read along with some of you. So it is nice that they gave us a woman's watch, because I do think this is more of a woman's subscription, but it does have a white wristband. It's kind of got like rose gold. It does have Roman numerals for the numbers, and then it does have some like sparklies there on the face of it, but it's a pretty nice little watch. I thought this was a good gift to include. So I haven't turned it on or taken the little plastic off the face, but I thought that was a good one. So that was their first gift. The next one, I remember this box being really good in terms of the gifts. Sometimes the gifts like are more about bringing the story to life, and they're not like the most useful or functional items like in your daily life beyond the world of the novel, but I thought the gifts this time around were really good. So gift number 2, it says, now I said that, and this was the one gift that I was kind of like, I don't get it. So there's a moment where Tom is now living with Dickie in Italy, and he thinks he's not coming home for a while, so he decides to try on some of his clothes, because obviously he has much nicer clothes than Tom does. He chose a dark blue silk tie and knotted it carefully. The suit fitted him. He reparted his hair and put the part a little more to one side, the way Dickie wore his. "Marge, you must understand that I don't love you," Tom said into the mirror in Dickie's voice, with Dickie's higher pitch on the emphasized words, with the little growl in his throat at the end of the phrase that could be pleasant or unpleasant, intimate or cool, according to Dickie's mood. All right, so we have a gift number 2. So I was curious to see if we would get a tie. We sort of got a tie. It was kind of interesting. So what we got was this, it almost looks like a military medal. So it came in some plastic. Let me go ahead and pull this out. But I realized this could actually get pulled off as a cool fashion statement by the fashionistas out there. So it's in this dark blue. It's got this metal, but you see how it looks very like formal, but I could totally see someone pulling this off with, you know, like a gray sweater, a white collared shirt, and then using this elastic to put this under the collar so that you just have that like extra decoration. It's very like prim and proper, and I think that could look really cute with, you know, your white shirt and your pullover sweater. Very preppy, very old school. Just instead of wearing like a brooch or a necklace, if you're wearing something with a little bit of a higher collar, I could totally see someone pulling this off for the holidays, you know, or with a like great, you know, gray flannel skirt kind of thing and high boots just to make that work. It's not really my style, but like once upon a time when I lived on the East Coast and I was super preppy, I could see myself doing that. So it was a little bit of a stretch, but this is sort of, again, so that it's something that women could use. It's a little bit more of an accessory than a men's tie, for example. So it was something I personally won't use, but I could see someone, like I said, pulling it off pretty well. The next one came on page 120. Let's see if I can remember what this one was. Okay. So at this point, I believe he is trying to pretend again that he is Dickie Greenleaf. So it says, he had done so little artificially to change his appearance, but his very expression, Tom thought, was like Dickie's now. He wore a smile that was dangerously welcoming to a stranger, a smile more fit to greet an old friend or a lover. It was Dickie's best and most typical smile when he was in a good humor. Tom was in a good humor. It was Paris. Wonderful to sit in a famous cafe and to think of tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow being Dickie Greenleaf. The cufflinks, the white silk shirts, even the old clothes, the worn brown belt with the brass buckle, the old brown grain leather shoes, the kind advertised in Punch as lasting a lifetime, the old mustard-colored coat sweater with the sagging pockets, they were all his, and he loved them all, and the black fountain pen with little gold initials, and the wallet, a well-worn alligator wallet from Gucci's, and there was plenty of money to go in it. So there's lots of things that he has basically stolen so that he can pretend to be Dickie. So we got this. Gift number 3. And again, I thought this was a good interpretation. So we got an alligator wallet, which actually has an alligator in it. Can you see how it's like a raised alligator kind of sneaking along? I thought this was a really, really cool one, and I love that it's black, of course. Let me just get a little sip of water, you guys. Every once in a while, I still get a tickle in my throat. So it's just a nice checkbook size wallet. Actually, decent quality for, obviously, faux alligator. But I do like the embossing on it, and I kind of dig the alligator. I thought that was neat. Not from Gucci's, unfortunately, but we'll definitely take it. And again, a pretty good gift for this box. So let's go ahead and move along. So if you think about it, basically you are getting this box for $50, which includes the book, some extra gifts, and 5 gifts that go along with the novel. So that's bringing the gifts to like $10 a piece, but on top of that you get the book and some extras, which is pretty good. All right, next one is page 90, let's see, 187, excuse me. I did go ahead and write the page numbers down because sometimes it's hard to find them just flipping through. Let me see. On his ramble around the city that morning, he bought some rimmed glasses at a shop that sold toys and gadgets for practical jokers. The lenses were plain glass. He visited San Marcos Cathedral and looked all around inside it without seeing anything, but it was not the fault of the glasses. He was thinking that he had to identify himself immediately. It would look worse for him, whatever happened, the longer he put it off. When he left the cathedral, he inquired of a policeman where the nearest police station was. He asked it sadly. He felt sad. He was not afraid, but he felt that identifying himself as Thomas Phelps Ripley was going to be one of the saddest things he had ever done in his life. So he's been passing himself off as Dickie Greenleaf, but the walls are closing in and he thinks he maybe has to turn himself in. So the saddest thing he could be is himself, which tells you about why you feel sort of sympathetic for this character, even though he does some terrible things. So gift number 4 just came in this little envelope with some bubble wrap so that it was protected. And of course it is our Plano glasses, but they are sort of feminized. They are something that a woman could wear. They have definitely kind of a, not cat eye, but they're definitely higher on the corners. So let me go ahead and put this on. I used to always want Plano glasses because I thought they made me look a little bit smarter, like a librarian. So luckily they are not changing my vision. They do need a little cleaning, but I'm going to go ahead and wear them for our last gift, which came right about towards the end on page 235. The whole book, I think, was only like not even 300 pages. Like, let's see, it was 287. So this is on page 234, and it is our final gift. And these are items that I knew had to come up at some point because they're so pivotal in the story. Tom, he opened his eyes. Marge was coming down the stairs barefoot. Tom sat up. He had his brown leather box. She had his brown leather box in her hand. I just found Dickie's rings in here, she said rather breathlessly. Oh, he gave them to me to take care of. Tom stood up. When? In Rome, I think? He took a step back, struck one of his shoes, and picked it up, mostly in an effort to seem calm. What was he going to do? Why'd he give them to you? She'd been looking for a thread to sew her bra, Tom thought. Why in hell hadn't he put the rings somewhere else, like in the lining of that suitcase? I don't really know, Tom said. A whim or something? You know how he is. He said if anything ever happened to him, he wanted me to have his rings. Marge looked puzzled. Where was he going? So the rings are something that Dickie would never really give up, right? And so when Marge finally finds them in Tom's possession, she knows something's going on. She gets very suspicious. So our final gift came in this little box. I was thinking we might get a little ring box, but no ring box, but we did get the rings. So this was kind of a double one, and these are the 2 rings that I think he was well known for. One is supposed to be an emerald, and one is supposed to be a signet ring, I believe. Now the one in the movie is like really, really big. I was like, really? Would he really wear that? A pinky ring? So we have this signet ring, which has like a kind of like a compass on it, if you can see, which I actually really like because we just got a signet ring in another book subscription and it had like a quote on it that was so tiny. It was very hard to read. So I love this idea of just having a little signet ring with a compass on it that I can actually wear, and it does actually fit on my ring finger. It's not like a resizable ring, so that's a little bit tricky. If it doesn't fit you, it doesn't fit you. And then we got this one, which looks more like an opal, but it could be an emerald or like jade. So it does have that like green quality, which again, I believe was said in the book that it was green, but maybe I am just thinking about it because that's what it was in the movie. It was definitely, you know, and whenever someone came across him who knew him as Tom versus Dickie, he had to quickly get those rings off his fingers. So this one was a little bit bigger, so it fits on my finger as well. So these were definitely my favorite gifts in this box, but overall, really fun gifts this time around. So let's just review. We got our tea as well as our cookies. Then we got the watch, which I do think is pretty, even though I'm not really like a rose gold person, but I think it's a nice watch. We did get the one that I'm a little bit confused about using myself, but I could see people pulling it off and having that sort of preppy, prim and proper look going on. We also got this alligator wallet, which I think is really cool, honestly. I might actually use it. I think it's neat. Then we also got, what was the other thing? Oh, we got these glasses, of course. And then finally, both of the rings that Dickie was known to wear all the time. You guys, let me know what you thought. Let's have a secret password, by the way. It is going to be, let's have it be alligator. So the secret password is alligator. Now when you come across a secret password in my videos, you want to enter it along with your contact information in the Google form linked for you in the description box below. Then at the end of the month, I go through and I use a random number picker to select a few winners to receive a mystery box as a way of saying thank you for watching my videos. You have to be 18 years or older. You have to have a US or Canadian mailing address. And just as a reminder, it's not affiliated with YouTube in any way or any of the boxes that I open here on the channel. Just my way of saying thank you. And we are going to continue doing secret passwords and mystery box giveaways at least through the end of the year, and then we might change it up. Thank you, by the way, also so much for being with me this whole November. This is the first month where I have posted 2 videos every single day. I am planning on also doing it for the entire month of December because I'm going to do my Adventures with Noelle series, which is me opening advent calendars. So I hope that you will join me for that. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you all very, very soon in my next unboxing. I'm kind of digging these glasses. What do you guys think?